Hello, my name is Elena, and today I will be talking about, I'll be doing a presentation on rape and trauma survivors and their fragmented memories. And I will be discussing the role of emotion in memory. My artifact is one by James Hopper and David Lesak, two psychologists who did research and published an article on why rape and trauma survivors have fragmented and incomplete memories. They talk about how this happens due to the fact that in the moment of a traumatic event, the fear experienced by the victims causes the prefrontal cortex part of the brain to either be impaired or completely shut down. Once the prefrontal cortex part of the brain is shut down, the memory rests in the amygdala, which is the part of the brain which processes emotion. This causes the victims to be able to remember the emotion that they felt, but not the other details that well. The victims tend to remember some things in excruciating detail, such as the shape of the gun, but aren't able to remember other things, such as if the attacker had facial hair, or the color of their hair, or what they were wearing. Sometimes the victims remember the events prior and after the traumatic event took place in very good detail. And during the traumatic moment, their attention may be diverted to their surroundings, and to things that might distract them from what is currently happening to them. Hopper and Lesak discuss how this brings disadvantages to when it comes to prosecuting somebody, due to the fact that it may be harder to identify someone who had assaulted you since your memory since your memory might not be as clear as one may believe that it is. The ways of knowing that are clearly shown in this artifact are emotion and memory. Emotion is shown through how the fear caused the prefrontal cortex to shut down or to be impaired. The emotion one has within a traumatic moment is what causes the fragmented memory of the event. And memory is shown through the lack of remembrance of certain things during the traumatic event. These two ways of knowledge go hand in hand when it comes to these moments in life. This artifact of knowledge brings up a very interesting TOK question, which is, to what extent does emotion impact one's memory in the pursuit of knowledge? This is an essential knowledge question due to the fact that it is very relevant to people but isn't discussed often. The fact that emotion can cause one's memory to be fragmented is often forgotten when it comes to questioning witnesses and trying to convict the attackers. Memory is a concept which can be hard to grasp due to the fact that memory is not very reliable. The most trusted part of a memory is the emotion that it produced, and how one doesn't quite remember parts of their childhood clearly, but they can remember the emotion that they felt in a specific moment in their life. However, if emotion is really as essential as people believe it is when it comes to remembering certain moments, does that mean that people such as psychopaths or sociopaths can't remember things as well as those who can feel emotion? Or does that mean that psychopaths and sociopaths can create more concrete memories due to the fact that they don't have the bias that emotions bring? And in the face of a traumatic event, they might not feel the fear needed to shut down the prefrontal cortex of their brain, which would cause them to remember things that others may not, such as the color of the attacker's hair, if the attacker had facial hair, or what clothes they were wearing. Emotion does affect memory. Emotion can cause certain emotions, like certain memories, to stand out more to a person. It can help a person determine what memories are more important. However, this does not mean that emotions are vital to determining what memories are important, due to the fact that emotions could create a certain bias, which people such as sociopaths don't have, making their decision-making on what memories are more important a lot more objective. Emotion impacts one's memory because it helps categorize memories. Like, there are certain memories that people have and don't want to discuss due to the dark emotion that it brings back. And there are certain memories that make them happy to look back to. Emotion both helps and creates difficulty when it comes to memory, since it helps in certain aspects, such as classifying emotions and determining their importance and impact on one's everyday life. But emotion also creates obstacles such as bias and fragmented memories when it comes to traumatic events. The knowledge question that was derived from the article of knowledge, to what extent does emotion impact one's memory in the pursuit of knowledge, creates a tough argument due to the fact that memory as a way of knowledge can be hard to pinpoint and narrow down. So far, the first part of the question has already been discussed. But how does emotion and memory come into the pursuit of knowledge? Taking the example proposed in the article by Hopper and Lisa, people need to use memory to try to prosecute the attacker or rapist. However, this may prove to be difficult due to the fact that in a traumatic event, the victim's memory is not that clear, due to the fear experienced in the moment, and that fear causing the prefrontal cortex to shut down, and one is left with amygdala's emotional memories. This can make the victim's testimony not that reliable, which can lead to the truth of the events to not become proper knowledge, due to the fact that it is believed that one is innocent until proven guilty, and if one is never proven guilty, due to the not so reliable testimony, the attacker's lack of innocence can be dismissed. Which, in cases like this, it makes the emotional aspects to memory a big obstacle in the pursuit of knowledge. Thank you.